Dope.
Let me just refresh and see if it's gonna.
It's a beautiful day in Reno, Nevada,
Nice.
the USA.
Nice, yeah.
What is your time zone, and where are you today?
So
That's what we'd like to know.
I'm in Indiana.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No. Indiana's great. Like, so
I'm just kidding. My best friend is a Colts fan, so
okay.
I'm a Bears fan, so you know.
I'm not a Colts fan myself.
All right. In that case, I love Indiana.
But yeah. But yeah, like the Bears are okay. They need to find a quarterback. Like, it's quarterback. If you're a quarterback, you go there to die. I don't know what it is. They just can't find.
Well, it's purgatory. Let's just say.
Yeah, that's fine.
Rex Grossman, 3 flies up Grossman.
Oh, sexy Rexy. They had Kyle Orton for a while, which I liked. Kyle Orton.
No, bro.
No.
Since they won the Super Bowl, and every quarterback that's come through, they barely have an over 500 win record.
Right.
Believe that. Like, it's like 502.
And that's the thing. Like, Kyle Orton was doing very well, and he's from Purdue, which is like, you know.
Let's not talk about Kyle Orton, bro. We have so many
fine.
better things to talk about than that guy.
All right.
They've all broken my heart. Rashawn Salam.
Yeah.
So what's going on, everybody? We are with CNFTBTC, or what do you want to call everybody? Or what do you want people to call you?
I want to call everybody a bunch of degens, and I'd like to call myself, today I'll just be CB. It's kind of an abbreviation, so it's a little easier. But
Or the general.
Hey, everybody. I turned into the general recently, and it's been super fun. But I will be demoting myself back to a plebe soon. One thing you need to know about the general is that he is also a maggot. So whenever he calls others a maggot, he's basically saying brother and sister, fellow maggot. So
Gotcha.
But the general's been really fun, actually. I'll be honest. That's the most fun I've had in the server, and I've been doing this for almost a year.
So when did
I got my general glasses on?
When did so you're a part of Winged Warriors? That's like what we're talking about today. If anybody is a little maybe confused, or I mean probably not with the title, but when did that kind of start? That started with C-Bits, but did you start Winged Warriors?
No. So I'm glad that you asked that question. I'll give you a little bit of I'll weave a little tale for you. So there's a gentleman at times by the name of Fettuccine. Fettuccine has got a couple of projects in the works. Angel Baby Hit Squad is one that he's been really grinding on. I think he's got a couple more coming up. He's done shapes. He's worked with other projects as well. Well, he entered the space early, at the mint time of C-Bits, and I think he was here. I think he was here from the very beginning. And there was a core group of people. Back then there were like, I don't know. I think we were talking about. I think it was like 10 servers or 10 projects at one point, and C-Bits got minted, and they came out with these Winged Warriors. I don't know if you know, but the winged trait on C-Bits, C-Bits is the creator of C-Bits. That's what he's referred to as. Very cryptic, very cool guy. He needed to add one more trait in order to complete the project and all the code, and so he slapped on wings to 105 of them, and there were 105 that already had existed. So they have twins. Each wing warrior has an exact twin minus the wings. But yeah, so he stamped those on. There were 105. Fettuccine started the server initially. I thought, like Faha 100, Robin 100, Barry 100, all of the 100s. 100 plus 100 is 200, by the way. It's very quick math. I thought it was just to make this exclusive, kind of chat room channel, but it turns out he was trying to pump his bags, and so he made this like exclusive channel for everybody that had one. I mean, there's a Bulls Dino Space Bud channel. I don't know if you know about this, but you can't get in unless you have a bull or a dino. And I want in badly, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. But yeah, so it was similar to that. They pumped their bags, the dinos and bulls, and so he did that to pump his bags, but it became much more than that. So it became like a community, and it was really a lot of alpha I mean, a ton of alpha players in the space. Some of them collectors. Faha Dukin was in there from the very beginning and still is. I think he at one point held the most CBIT winged warriors, the winged CBITs of anybody at 5, although there's one other person who has 5, and now he's been eclipsed by someone. I'm not sure who. But yeah, there's just been a lot of people. I mean, I don't know if you know the different people in projects, but the Greek Freak has some, Rokindo, Mythical, Shadi Nasser. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on. There's been a lot of projects that's come out of the group, but there's also been a lot of degenning. So I joined this whole thing in like end of May, early June. The small crew. Shout out to Blue Tough Guy who jumped in here head first with me a year ago almost, and yeah, this is what we do. So it's kind of cool. But I saw this opportunity. I bought a winged bit. It cost me a lot, probably about 4 times almost what they cost today back then, because ADA was a little bit higher. And I got in, and that's when I really found my footing in Cardano NFTs. I already loved Cardano NFTs, but then I just got a lot of wisdom. People shared information. I was, very new, and so, anyways, at some point, it became something bigger, and it was just rocking, and it was the summer of love, and then some things happened, and now we're here. Do you want to hear the rest of the tale?
I would love to.
Yeah. All
Hey,
right.
oh, okay, hold on. So, not to interrupt, but
No, please do.
So
I talk a lot, bro.
you were at the mint of CBITs.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Okay, but do you know what happened at the mint of CBITs?
I do. Do you want to hear about that?
Yeah, can you explain it to Nick, because he wasn't here? I knew all about
Oh, okay.
it. Right.
Oh, you did?
Because they
Do
have
you
the
want to
Google
explain it?
Doc, and I wanted to know,
No,
like,
it's all
how
for
do you
you.
do a
So it
mint
went
with
to
a Google Doc?
Docs. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you don't. That's the answer. You don't now. I mean, nobody's using Google Docs. I might for this mint, but because I just have no idea what I'm doing, which has been fun, but also taking a lot of time. I pick up quick. So what happened, and I'm not, I've done a lot of study on this. I've talked to a lot of people in the CBITS community. I've talked to the CBIT creator a little bit, done a little research. So when they first minted, they used a Google Doc, and that was where, I guess people put their addresses and signed up, and I don't know. I mean, it was the third project, or I think it was the third project minted on the blockchain, second 10,000 project minted on the blockchain, and it didn't work out. I don't know the specifics of why it didn't or what it was like. I do know that I talked to CBITS on a DM, and he said it was very hard. It took another 7 days, I believe, from the 3rd to the 10th to complete the drop. There was a lot of things that were, lost in the fray and needed to be found again. Needed to make sure that everybody that was supposed to get one got one. Other people didn't push in. I don't know. It was a small community, so I guess it wouldn't have been nearly as much of a problem as it would have today, right? But it really burnt him. It was very, very hard on him in particular. And so after that, he exhaled deeply. And then, they pumped, and the community was pumped, and it was going good. And then it just started falling a little bit. The community started not dissolving. I don't know if that's the right word. Just started quieting down, and you know how that happens with projects, is they go quiet for a little bit sometimes. And then there was a little bit of I don't know, just negativity in the space, and the CBITs dropped. Their floor dropped out a little bit. I wasn't, again, aware of that. I really didn't get into CBITs until I bought a wing in the summer. And then in September, there were a group of mods, a group of people that really cared about CBITs, had some, but also just really thought they were amazing art-wise, and I do as well, and decided to restructure, rebuild, raise from the ashes, phoenix, the CBITs, and so they did. They know who they are, and they're very humble people. They do not need me to shout them out, which I have done on my spaces and other podcasts, but hey, you guys are awesome. So they did actually a lot of what I'm doing right now, and what I'm helping the Winged Warriors, and what we're all kind of doing collectively is trying to rebrand, bring it back to where it was. It's hard in today's market, that to get people overly excited about things when they're, when ADA is trading at 70, whatever cents. So, but yeah, that's what happened.
I think we discussed that as off air, myself and Nick, it was like, well, 70 cents is pretty alarming. Like, not for me. Like, I don't, like I said last night, I don't look at the price of ADA hardly ever. But from what I remember about Winged Warriors, right? So I've always been a fan of C-bits over like the punk style, if that makes any sense for you.
I did, yeah, totally.
I've always held 2 in my wallet, ever since, Mint. And so I really appreciate that particular art style rather than like the punks that are coming out. No shade to those groups or whatever. I picked up more when they did something with Kongs. So, if you bought a Kong, you would get a C-bit, and if you bought a C-bit, you would get a Kong. And so, or you
What
would.
what Kongs are you talking about? Which Kongs?
Chilled Kongs. And so,
when you bought a chilled Kong, you got a C-bit?
well, there's a chance to get thrown into the giveaway, right?
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
got
sorry.
it. I'm like, what did I miss? I bought a
Right, I
Kong
was
today.
saying the
What are
same
you
thing.
talking about?
This was.
I did buy a Kong today. Shout out to the pink fur and
Okay.
the backwards hat.
Okay.
Making
I bought a
moves.
Kong today.
Hell yeah.
Well, I like to pick some stuff up.
Right.
Yeah.
And so from what I'm understanding and what I went through because I was entering this NFT space was, although the Winged Warriors weren't the most rare on the whole thing, they were the most sought after in the C-Bits project. And so you had the twins or whatever and other things like that. But I think what Fettuccine did was he brought it to the forefront, and there was like a cult following. I know Faha was in it, and he did some artwork of it. Same with Chatty, who you were talking about, and Fettuccine. They did like
Shotty. Shout out, Shotty. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah. So he
actually just bought some pineapple pizza from Shaddy the other day.
Good Lord, God bless you.
He's
help you.
He's a great guy. I've always loved his.
Oh,
his
for
artwork.
sure. He's
I
hilarious.
had his birthday
He knows how I feel about
celebration.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
stop sending me hearts, Shotty. Heart kisses.
And then so then they had the Collabits, right? Which I didn't.
The what?
The Collabits, Collabits.
Oh yeah. Collabits.
Collabits, yeah.
To play on collab.
Collabits, yeah. And so
yeah,
that was pretty cool. But yeah, I've always wanted to kind of get into the Winged Warriors, but the entry point was very steep for me.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
There were more rare traits, and there was no zombie wing. So there are no, nor do they exist, zombies with wings, right? Which zombies are the most rare, I think, of the types. Orange shirts are very rare. So there's some things that are right up there with the wings. But I will say one thing: wings set it off. And I don't know. I've been in Ethereum. I have a couple of the NFTs out there. Shout out to the Gutter Gang. But there must be wings over in Ethereum. But I believe that Cardano wings in projects like, say, Clay Nation, they have wings as their most rare trait, even though orangutans, there's only 12. And who has one of those? Exactly. But wings on everything, right? So wings are a part, I believe, a critical and integral part of Cardano CNFTs. And I believe that is in part due to this culture that was built early in what we're doing here. And we're so early, like, crypto punks didn't do anything for a few years, and then they got eclipsed by Bax. But Bax. Sorry, be careful, don't choke on what you're drinking. So, anyways, that's one thing about the Winged Warriors. And as far as getting into the Winged Warriors, I think previously to what we've done recently, we've kind of reworked things a little bit to try and include more people, because it was the Winged Warriors channel. And truthfully, when the holidays hit and the Cardano ADA took a hit, and it just kind of went still for a while, that's when the Winged Warriors channel kind of went a little silent. There were still some of us that were on there a lot, but there were a lot of people that were in the Winged Warriors that weren't talking very much. And there's another story to weave about that, which could, if you wanted. But I will say before we maybe backstory that, that we brought it to a different place now where we have an entry point for multiple different levels. And this NFT that we're dropping will add a fourth entry point into the Winged Warriors. And so just basically what the Winged Warriors was always about was community. It became such a tight group that actually what I found out, and I didn't know this because my whole world was kind of the Winged Warriors and all this other stuff, was people don't know about them. like I was telling even you, I was talking to people. I'm like, hey, Winged Warriors, these young kids, they're making art and dropping projects, and I'm like, yeah, Winged Warriors. And like, who's that? I'm on NFA. Shout out NFA. And they're like, Winged Warrior, like, what drop are you talking about? So it's kind of funny, but we're making it now. So there's a channel called the Wing Cadets, where anybody can join and you can be a Wing Cadet. And then, we'll help you build up your collection of NFTs to where you can buy a wing. NFA, no, not financial advice, but we'll see. But no, you can get it, and you'll chop it up. Wing Warriors will drop in there and chop it up with you all the time. I mean, I just saw Fettuccine over there a minute ago. Got Mrs. Scarlet, Jubs, Psychedelius, Shadi, CeeLo. I mean, just massive numbers. Cardano King was in there. So there's a lot of people that are in there that are Winged Warriors. So that's cool. Then we have the Winged Alliance. The Winged Alliance is all the Winged Warriors. Plus, it used to be content creators. So in the beginning, if you didn't own a wing, you still wanted to be on the server chopping it up with the wings. They would let you in if you were a content creator. Are you a content creator? I'm just kidding. Yes, we want you in. I actually thought you were in there. I was trying to ping you in our server, and I'm like, is he not joined our server? So yeah, we'll talk.
Are you talking about cleanup?
Yeah, I mean, huh?
You talking about cleanup or me?
No, talking about you. You're in our server, right?
Yeah, I'm in there. I wasn't in there originally. I joined probably like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago.
Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes I'm late to a party too. Clean up.
Yeah, I had a shout out to Cardano Keith. That's my boy. He got me into the Wing Warriors. But yeah, when I first talked to you, you were like, "Do you know the Wing Warriors?" And I was like, "I feel bad. I actually don't, but now I do, and I'm grateful that I do."
And I think that's interesting and cool. Like, we're much bigger than we were. I mean, how many projects are there now? I mean, I think there's over 10,000 projects. Would that be accurate?
Too many.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother discussion, which we won't get into. And I really, honestly, in general, in my life, I try and stay away from negativity. And I know we do have to talk about things to keep people protected from projects and bad acting and things of that nature. But I tend to err on the, just let's keep it positive. Let's build community. That's really what it's about for me personally. But yeah, so it's okay that people don't know. I think it's good to know that. And so it's been amazing, honestly. So we have the Winged Alliance. Now we've opened it up a little bit. So it's like, promoters and content creators and artists and, devs and collectors, like just people that are integral, that are working, that make this space great. Some of them working to make their paycheck as well, which is awesome. Definitely do that. And then we have the Winged Warriors, the very, very exclusive 105 spots, but some of us own multiple wings. And so it's less than that. So I think there's about 60 right now. And there's just some wings lost. I'm doing an inventory right now because every Winged Warrior gets one whitelist spot for our drop coming up. And then we're opening up a last channel. If you buy one of our Winged Warriors NFTs, which will be dropping Monday, the whitelist drops 527 spots. 50 were already given away on our server because we had a boot camp led by someone named the General, who's awesome, but a little bit harsh at times, but for good reason. And we just had a lot of people engaging. We were throwing GIFs and just having a great time. And everybody that won a whitelist spot for engaging in our server, we went from 300 to 830, I think now, in the last 4 days, something like that. But everybody who won a whitelist spot also won one to give away to a friend or another CNFT enthusiast. So you won a whitelist and you get another one, and you get to go give that to someone. And we believe, hey, that's how we build community. If you're going to get one and be in the server, why not get your buddy in, and then he's in the server, and then, hey, we're all one big happy family. We really do hope to continue to just have fun and build together in our server. There will be a separate channel for the 2,777 NFTs. And in that channel, you will be able to enter giveaways for whitelist spots. It's just what you do, Atlanick, Nick. Where you give away whitelist spots to your NFT holders, which I bought one. Shout out to thinking about buying the rest of them, but I decided to just go with one.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're giving away some of our whitelist spots, so
yeah, I am.
Definitely go mint.
I think we have like left? 7 left or 6 left.
Come on,
like they're 45 8 a piece. I give away whitelist spots. We have Safari Squad, we have Wing Warriors, and we have 10 Wing Warriors to give away.
What?
So, yep.
Wow, you guys are banging, bro.
I know.
And it's a surfer, right, on a wave. I mean, who can go? It can't go wrong with Atlanick Ocean. But yeah, so we're going to be giving away whitelist spots. You'll also win NFTs and ADA at times. But there's no set amounts. It's not set for a certain period of time. It's not going to completely stop one day randomly. But it's just another way of giving a little bit of utility to our NFT. Honestly, we don't need to add utility because these things are so sick. They're beautiful. But then also 27 mythics. And we're not setting rarities. I just call them mythics because they're mythical diamond-winged creatures. 27 have diamond wings. And if you mint a winged warrior with diamond wings, you are into the exclusive winged warrior channel, as well as all other channels. So you'll have access to the 2777. You will have access to the allies. You'll, of course, be a cadet and always a maggot. And then you'll be able to get into the exclusive Winged Warriors server as well without owning an $8,000 CBIT wing. So, so that's the drop. Whitelist is on Monday. So if you do get a whitelist spot, and there'll be opportunities to do that. If you want to come to our server and engage now, we're giving more away after our spaces on Thursday. I will be going to the server and checking engagement as well. And if you've already won one, you can't win again. But you can when you go to public mint on Tuesday. So it's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monday, it will be May 9th, and that will be whitelist mint for 24 hours. Then Tuesday, May 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that will be public mint. So you can mint up to 2 on the whitelist, and then you can mint up to 5 on the public. And you have one right behind you. It is a beautiful, beautiful NFT. This is a shadow with a platinum chain and gold wings. And Nick is doing a couple of push-ups. Good, get your workout in. That's great. This is my dog Aldo over here. Say hi, Aldo. Who's a good boy? Oh, little pink nose pit. Really bad allergies, just like his mom. And by his mom, I mean my wife. But anyways, that's what's going on with the drop, and our server's been super fun, and we've basically, just kind of revamped things and made it a little more accessible and getting the word out. Holding a spaces every Thursday at 2:15 Pacific Standard Time. It's my time zone here in beautiful sunny Reno, Nevada. And 5:15 Eastern Standard Time, we do a 1-hour spaces. We have people on. I think we're going to have Brock Boy NFT, and I think we might have Mint City on this Thursday. So there's potentially trying to get Play Nation to show up and say what's up. Some other Monad Alexander from Unsigs, the creator of Unsigs, he's coming on next week. So it's a cool little show. I do silly stuff, freestyle rap in the beginning. I think I'm gonna give him a break on that this week because you can't get great audio, and so it sounds whack. But it's kind of funny, and people enjoy silly stuff.
Yeah, Twitter needs to fix a few things, and I think like audio sharing is something they definitely need to figure out. But especially with rugs too, man. Like, there's been so many spaces I've had with people where I get rugged as the host, and the whole thing just goes down. Like, these things got to be fixed.
I love the spaces thing. I was on NFA, Not Financial Advice, last night. Ugly Bros, I saw him on one of your shows here. Showed up last night and was chopping it a little bit with the folks. Shout out to Tal, E46, Chronic, Easy, Daily. So
everybody.
yeah. So I was on, but hey, get away from me, dog. What the heck, man? Sorry, live stream. The dog is acting nuts. Okay, I'm back. So too many times they just, I think, they start the spaces and it's just jump right in. Hey, and I like a little intro. Got to get a little, there's a little something to CB in his former life before all of this. So I got to act a little silly,
A
have
little
some beats in the
showmanship.
background, little something. I'm an MC for life, so doesn't really play in space when you're on Discord typing. And so, hey, get my shot of the title. I'm gonna take it. But
You could always do like I guess video chats or voice chat at the very least inside of Discord, but I know a lot of people don't join those, and if you had thousands of people join, then it'd be too crazy. So that balance isn't kind of, I guess, there.
it's true with the spaces too. Like you get a lot of people in there, you know. I think you have people that have something to say, but they haven't come up, they're not down to totally to request. Like it's just, yeah, but then the Discord's different because everybody can have at it. Happy Hoppers, Jub, the Happy Hoppers are awesome. They got some stuff coming. Keep your eye out for them. They're cute. Udon did the artistry. It's really good. But they're when they were pumping, getting ready for their drop, I jumped into their server was crazy, but two, their voice chat was just hilarious and so much fun. But the alphas for sure, like take it, they end up yapping. So I have a hard time, I've become a listener in marriage, but not natural for me.
No, I totally get that aspect because I have a wife of like 15 years. So
Congratulations.
yeah, it's a rare thing. That's what I'm coming to find out. Some of my friends have been married and they got divorced and other things like that. And I like to think like out of all the people, I'm the one who found himself in a decent marriage for the longest time out of all of them. So it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. Did you so when coming up with the project or whatever, did you receive any like pushback for creating more, or how did it come about? Were people mostly accepting, or
So I thought you were gonna come out firing and poke holes in this. That's what Atlanick told me. He told me to watch out for you, that you were fire, bro. And then I come in and you're so like chill, and then you come
Nah,
out with
I
this
just meant like
question that's
sometimes he'll
like,
do like deep dives. You know what I mean? Sometimes he'll have
no,
information that's like just crazy. You're
no,
just
I
like, where
love
did
it.
that come from?
No, I love it. It's like getting blindsided, like where you don't see, you're like, oh, da, da, and then somebody punches you in the face. No, I'm just kidding. So yes, then this brings me to another portion of the tale. So let me weave this portion of the tale in the best way that I can, because to be honest, I believe the people have the best intentions in this space. Now, obviously, that doesn't apply to everybody. Certainly not cut and paste projects or rugs. I've put in $9,000 on a project when I first jumped into space that I thought was going to be awesome, and they deleted the Discord, bro. I was like,
wait, what was it? Can you name
I
names?
can't.
Come on,
Do
man.
you want me to?
I want to know.
All right. I mean, it's embarrassing to be honest. I mean, I
I
was young,
know.
so I was early in the space myself. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But Ada Miners was the name of
Ooh,
the project.
but it looks so cool though. Like seriously, the
Diamonds and
ideas.
gold nuggets, and I
Right.
thought that this thing was the business, but it turned out it was the business of stealing all my money. So I was I was the largest mineral holder of anyone, and I was like doing the math, and I traded for years, so my background for Amariah Hash, which is my name, fully doxed. My nickname's Ammo. My background was I traded in the stock exchange for 7.5 years on the options floor. 30 years ago, when you scream, yell, buy and sell, I was a really, really young broker trader on the floor in San Francisco, in Philadelphia. So I understand markets. And then I bought Bitcoin in 2015 at $300, bought 10 of those. That kind of started my journey in trading crypto. We bought our first place a couple years later when it hit 17. I sold at an average of 17.7. Not all of them, but yeah, I've been trading ever since. So I've been riding it from there down to 4,500 and back to 68 grand, and and I jumped in other stuff. I bought a million Doge in 2016 for $50. 1 million Doge for $50, and then I sold it for $1,200. bro, I was poor. I was like, this is it. I have made it. So, but funny. So I understand markets, right? So I come into CNFTs and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a buyer, there's a seller. I'm like, how many diamonds are there? How many are, how much are they per? Do the math. Okay, I'm buying these for, I mean, I don't know what I was paying, but anyways, I got rugged hard on ADA miners.
I don't even
So
remember that project, honestly.
that's for the best, bro. We've all put it to rest. It's only because cleanup brought it back to life. And now we're going to let it die again. Cleanup are you okay with that?
Yeah, it's fine. I think they had a good idea. I just don't think they could execute it, right? Which is why it was over, because it was out for the longest time before it even rugged. You know what I mean? So it was like
I do. I was wearing the most minerals out of anybody. Do I know what you mean? I know better than anybody, except for those one other person who's I'm not going to dox. But yeah, no, I agree. I thought it was cool, and then their giveaways started being really weak, and it's actually not that wholly unlike what we're doing now, except for it's not nearly as complicated. It's pretty straightforward. But I think people have the best intentions. People that really care about this community. People even that have made a lot of money. People that are working on projects. People that are creative. People that are love people and are good at relationships. I think we all have the best intentions, and I think the Winged Warriors had the best intentions. Maybe not in the beginning. Maybe they wanted to pump their bags, so they created this. But then after it was created, so many good things came out of the Winged Warriors, and so many good things continue to come out of the Winged Warriors. So when things were going really well, we got pumped, and there was some things we saw on the horizon, and we had some really, really high level devs within our group. And so we saw an opportunity to start a DAO. And we're talking about like November, early November. Okay, we all know what DAOs are now. We all know everything that's happened with DAOs. We know how DAOs aren't truly decentralized yet, how people are working towards that. They're trying to build multi-sigs. Some people have something of that form. And I know a lot about that. I'm not a dev, though. I know nothing about the actual nuts and bolts of it. But we thought, hey, we're the Winged Warriors. We have an amazing group of people here. Let's build it out. And so we decided to do that. And what we did is we raised money within our group, and we went to work, and we paid a dev team to build something for us. And we were looking at multi-sig before it was even really a word that people spoke. We were way ahead. Like David Bowie and pop music, we were way ahead. The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, greatest album of all time? Maybe. So they did what they were paid to do, and they developed it. And then it came time to poke holes in it. You cannot use code. You cannot run a wallet, multi-sig or DAO style anything without poking holes in it and trying it and running some practice tests. I mean, it's called auditing, right? And ultimately these days, if you audit and get a certificate, then, certificate it, then, you're in a good space. So we didn't do that. It became, the slow time. People were gone for the holidays. Projects weren't really happening. It slowed up, dropped from 3 to 1 or 1.25 or whatever it was. And so we left it, and it sat on the vine for like 3 months. And then 3 months later, we came back and said, hey, let's do this thing that we were going to do again. And it just wasn't where it needed to be. Every epoch goes by, something changes, something gets backed out, something gets added on. There's a change to the code. Like, things are dynamic. Even though Hoskinson moves at a slow pace, there are still changes. So 3 months later, coming back to a code that was built that you didn't poke holes in, it just wasn't usable for what we wanted anymore. So we discussed it as a group in our little DAO. We changed our name, Wing DAO, on Twitter, and we were pumped to get at it again. But it just wasn't feasible. So it actually started becoming uncomfortable with the Winged Warriors, and certain people started becoming disenfranchised with the group and not happy about where their investment was. And, so I care a lot, and that's just one of my weaknesses as a human being, and one of my greatest strengths is I just really care about people and groups. And I have been given a lot, not just in this group. I'm a recovering addict and alcoholic. I used for 22 years. I got sober 15 years ago. Basically, I've been given a second life, and somehow landed in the Winged Warriors. And it actually was very, very beneficial for me. Ultimately, my wife is my CFO, and everything comes from her. And in my professional and personal opinion, my faith, which is cool. I believe that everybody has whatever they have, and it's all good. But that's where it comes from for me. But I landed in the Winged Warriors, and it was super beneficial. It really helped me to get where I'm at today. I don't work. I taught for many years. So it was really good for me. And I didn't want to see it just get negative and kind of go flat or maybe even go away. And so so I stepped up and I said, hey, I think I can do something, but I really don't know what I'm doing. But if you guys will give me a shot, I'll take this on and I'll see if I can make something happen. And I always put out there up until recently when I was very sure that this was going to happen. I always said, hey, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to take some time. I'm going to give it everything I got. And usually when I give everything I got, something happens, something good. But if not, I'm not going to go through with it. And so I did. And I worked on the dowel, and I worked on a certain style of dowel, and then another style. And then we had an art competition. We have artist apply. And then it just wasn't there, and we couldn't move forward with it yet. However, we still have some code, and we still are going to work towards something of that nature. So there you go. It's all out, man. It's all coming out on your program. But I ended up, we had some artists. I wasn't really feeling like they totally identified with our artwork. And then I reached out to a couple of people that were key and said, hey, do you know any artists? I'm thinking about going 8-bit with this. And I reached out to CBits, and I didn't really know him. We didn't really have conversations. He did with some of the other warriors. But I figured, what can hurt? I'm a nice guy. And then I asked him, hey, do you know anybody? And he said he would let me know. And then I said, but if you're feeling skippy, and that was pretty much what I said. And to be honest, I think he was waiting for something to get him excited, fired up, reignited for the space, because he was obviously first, really second, third, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Ales, we love you, but I don't know if your berries count because you gave them away to stakeholders, and now we got to pay $100,000 for one. But anyways, we love you. Don't take it negatively. But I mean, he was first, and his art is sick. I love his 8-bit art. He's a really mad genius of 8-bits, in my opinion. So I think he was waiting for something to come around. He kind of got just sat back and let his project do what his project was going to do. And so he was curious, and then he and I came to terms, and the Warriors came to terms, and he did the art. And so CBits is the artist. He made it clear that it is not connected with the original collection of 10,000 CBits. Different policy ID. They are not the same. There's not a single Winged Warrior NFT that is identical to any of the other CBits. However, it does have traits, and it does have types that the other CBits, that the original CBits have as well. But it's completely separate. Now, there has been pushback. This is a long answer to your question, but it's good. I've watched your show. It's like 2 hours, so I can go long-winded here. There has been pushback, absolutely. There are people that believe heavily in CBits and are holding, and not necessarily to make a bunch of money, though I think one day they hope to. Of course, we all do, right? That's why we have our bags. But they are worried, and we're worried that this will negatively impact their project because, for whatever it adds, 2,777 NFTs in the mix. If Clay Nation and Clay Mates and Good Charlotte are an indication, you can add as many as you want, and it won't dilute it as long as it's a great, good, strong project, right? So at the same time, somebody swept the floor this last few days. CBits have gone from 200 to a 300 floor in literally the last 3 days. So there could be a very positive effect. I mean, to be honest with you, I think our NFTs are wildly beautiful. I think they're really, really stellar and stand out. But I don't think that infringes at all on the CBits, which are amazing, completely beautiful. And so we were grateful to have him. He is now also, I think the other thing that's going to be beneficial for the CBits is he's fired up. And that dude is super smart and creative, and he can write some stinking code. So that dude, if you've seen any of what he's been posting lately, he's been hinting towards some big things happening, because I think all he needed was a little bit of fire underneath it. And now the dude's going to do what he does, what he was planning to do originally. So what does that mean? I mean, I don't know.
I know you said the Winged Warriors are are separate from CBITs and policy ID and everything, but will the DAO that you're trying to build long-term, will that be incorporated with CBITs at all? That'll be just with
So
Winged Warriors?
yeah, so we're a different brand. First of all, we don't, it's hard to say because we don't even know if it's going to happen. It's kind of like what I've been saying this whole time of like, I'm not going to make promises. I do not write checks that I can't cash. I used to do that in my former life. I don't do it anymore. I am an under promise and over deliver guy, right? And too many projects will come out with a white paper. By the way, there is no white paper to the Winged Warriors drop. There's no white paper, no roadmap. There's only community. There's only community and engagement and fun and love and information and growing, and that's it. And so that's partially because I was tasked with taking a front role on this whole thing, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And this will be the only drop I ever do. Hopefully, it'll be iconic, and I'll be remembered for at least a couple of months. But I don't care about any of that. What I care about is the community. I'm not making money on this. I care about the community, you know. And so I'm kind of in some ways just making sure that we get repaired and we have an opportunity to do something. Now, if there is a DAO that is a Winged Warrior DAO, you want a CBIT wing. It is not going to come by owning one of these Winged Warrior NFTs. And it is not that the problem with allowing the CBITs collection in as a whole is there's only 105 winged CBITs. And that's the key, right? It's not, it's like the Faha 100, you know, that's the key. The Robin Blue stamp, that's the key. So it's just simply a key. There's, you know, it'd be too easy to sweep the floor and buy 100 CBITs and then have some kind of, you know, power in determining what happens with the DAO. If it was to become that, they can do that. You know, they have a treasury, they can do their thing. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to affect them. I do know that I'm a CBIT holder. I know that I love robots and shadows, and I love that collection, and I will always hold them. And I also have a few winged bits, like 7, and I will always hold them. I mean, maybe not all of them. Actually, what I'm trying to do is let people into the community. So I sold a winged CBIT for a price that I would never sell it at a few days ago to somebody who's been trying to get in the Winged Warriors for a long time and who's an amazing person. And so I'm not going to dox who they are, but they have my swim cap alien wing bit now, which was completely in love. Like, actually, it was my favorite of all of them, but it was the one that he wanted, and he's been trying to get in, and people are juiced. And so that's who I am. I'm not somebody who's trying to buy 10% of the entire, you know, collection. Although I was trying to get 11 because it was 10%. I just like numbers. But it wasn't for control or to do anything with it, you know. It was just because I think they're undervalued and I love them. So no, we're not connected in that way. We are and always will be connected. What the CBIT said is that he felt like it was a great opportunity to take care of what he called his babies. His CBIT winged CBITs are one of his 10,000 babies, you know. So that's how we got where we are.
Gotcha. And I did just want to touch up. Originally, I had thought we only have 45 minutes, so I did allocate just a little over an hour for this. So, you know, we can get to some of the juicier stuff. I'm sorry to rush you. I really don't want to do that. But yeah, I think we have like an hour, maybe hour and 10 minutes. So if you...
Is it on your end or my end?
No, I mean, we can stay around as long as possible. It's just cleanup has to go at an hour. So, I mean, me and you can still stick around. But
right.
Yeah,
so like the wife said, I probably should come to bed tonight. So as a married man of 15 years, when the wife says come to bed, you should probably...
Bro, you don't have to
probably go to bed.
Go ahead. Throw down. Let's go. Speed round.
So yeah. No, yeah. So your overall plan is literally we're just gonna release these and see who's into it. Have you talked to any of like the OGs and stuff like that, like Fettuccine or whatever, as far as like marketing or anything like that? You know, to kind of maybe pump it a little bit. I don't know how better to say it or whatever. It's just kind of like you just want to do a natural thing. Is that correct?
Yeah. So you don't want my opinion on it because I have a very, very strong opinion, as in my opinion is I don't care. Now, that's never a good way to sell an NFT, is by saying I don't care. But I'm not saying I don't care at all. I'm just saying I'm not worried about what it becomes. So Fettuccine is the wing beneath my wings, the wind beneath my wings. He's the creator of all this. Him and I have been talking the entire way. He has entrusted a lot to me to try and make this happen. To be 100% honest with you, the artwork stands on its own. If that's all it ever is you have that winged sea bit and it's beautiful. Can you bring up some of the bits that I sent you? First of all, there's something that's never been before. There's some new traits like there are chains, there are platinum chains and diamond chains, and those have never been there before. But there are also, for the first time ever, we're revealing that the Winged Warrior NFTs, some of them will have actual weapons because they're warriors, right? And what warriors don't have weapons? And so you've never seen a weapon trait before on anything C-bit. And so 8-bit, there it is. This is a skeleton with diamond wings and a sword. There are 3 different weapons. There's the sword, the spear, and the torch. So can we see the spear?
Yeah. Let's open that.
Isn't that beautiful? I mean, seriously, that is sick. I'm in love with it personally. If nobody mints them, I mean, I own a couple of big NFTs like rhinos and fish and stuff.
So this one's missing an eye.
This one is missing an eye.
Got his gold tooth.
He's got his gold tooth. But this is hey, you zip it, dog. This is a spear, right? Like, did you know that the spear is probably the greatest of all weapons? Because not only does it act as a sword, but it keeps your enemy at a distance. It's very, very dangerous. That's a diamond wing spear wielding. And then the last thing is that never before have you seen a zombie with wings, but now we not only have a zombie with wings, this is one of the 27 diamond wings that you could potentially mint. We also have torches, and torches are I think they're my favorite weapon of all.
So a zombie, diamond wings, and a torch.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite of the entire collection. But I don't know. The gold wings look pretty good. Platinum wings, I mean, there's purple wings now. They've never existed before. So yeah, so we stand apart. As far as trying to pump the project and make these worth money, I don't think that's entirely necessary. I mean, if you were to get a whitelist spot for something like the Ape Society, I'm not saying that we're getting those. We are having a poker tournament with the Ape Society on Saturday night, though. So nice. Definitely, if you want to join our server, you can try and get into that game room. The winner gets 250 ADA and a whitelist Winged Warrior spot. And I think second place is 200, third place is 150, fourth place is 100. And all of those get whitelist spots as well. And then the last 3 places get 200, 150, and 100 straight ADA. So top 7 placers get paid and can go mint a couple of warriors. We're not trying to pump our project. That's not what it's about. What it's about is community. This is a quality piece of work we think stands on its own. Also, you get into this channel where you can enter giveaways. And if you get a whitelist spot to some project that becomes the next Chilled Kongs or something like that, that in and of itself pays for a $49 NFT, or actually this price. I think it's more like 40, 37. So no, I don't really see. Now, do we have some people that are well known in the space that are buying these NFTs? Some people that hold massive collections and maybe own 20 wolves. I mean, maybe Crypto Drams wants to buy in and get as many of these as he possibly can. He'll have to bang some transactions 5 at a time, I guess. But hey, shout out, duck, quack, we go. But yeah, we have people that, I've been known as a whale at times. I whaled up in the old ADA miners, so I'm sure I could drop a couple thousand on this. But I'm not trying to mint something that I had such an integral part of creating. I will mint a few for myself. I have what did I say? I have 7 wings, so I could mint up to 2 per wing and 14 of them, but I'm not going to. I'll mint maybe 5, maybe 10, and then give away some whitelist spots, because that's the kind of person I am. I'm not trying to corner the market or pump these up or anything. I think they're going to do well. And it doesn't matter to me if they do well. What matters to me is that our community is strong. What matters to me is that the people that put in on this Winged Warrior thing get what they put in back, even though ADA has down. And we move forward positive and ready for, what I call Wing Point 2. The Winged Warriors Point 2 is a new era. There's a lot of youth. There's a lot of good projects amongst all this other stuff that's going on, and we want to promote that. There's some other things we're going to do, but I'll leave it at that for now.
Gotcha. And I did see this question. I don't want to ignore it. It was a while back. Craig said, why try to add more people into a community in which you have to cut out actual owners to important discussions in which you have cut out owners? And yeah, I'll let you speak on that.
Why add more people to a community where you cut out owners? So my guess is they are saying that our community has cut out owners of CBITs.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
If they want to elaborate a little bit more clearly on what they're asking, that's cool. If not, and you want me to assume that that's what they're saying, I can try and answer that.
His other response was this. So maybe it's a fact that there are wing owners who had zero details regarding the drop. I don't know exactly where he's going with this, but I didn't want to just ignore his.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Whatever it was.
One, if he is a winged warrior and he doesn't know about the drop, then he's not active in the channel, or she, or whoever it is. Is there a male name, or do they have
Craig Mizzle?
It's Mizzle 22. You can't exactly tell by the names anymore.
Like, yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. I can't see. I can't see because I have my sunglasses, not my my glasses broke. I actually went to the doctor today and ordered 3 pairs of glasses. And that's again just a picture into my life. So Mizzle is a mod for the CBITs. So thank you for the question, Mizzle. And did some of the warriors not know about the drop? It's possible. There are 60 plus, and there are probably a good 20. That might not be a good number, but that don't talk at all. I have whitelisted every winged warrior in our winged warrior channel, and I would say easily a quarter of those won't mint because they just aren't around. Some of them have left entirely and just hanging onto their bags and doing other stuff. Some of them are busy with projects. Some of those winged warriors just they're not even active anymore. I don't expect all of those to mint. So there's that, if that's what we're talking about. If there is a warrior who didn't feel like they got the information, I mean, it's true. I don't really know what I'm doing at the end of the day. I haven't minted projects. I've never been behind one. All I've ever done is invested, collected, and traded. That's it. And loved up on people. That's all I've ever done. And so this is all new to me. So yeah, I've been funneling my way through this. I mean, to be honest, I don't have proper permissions in some things, and I got to be careful because there's people with money, right?
That are starting projects are like that. Like, this is extremely new. I don't think most of the people in here have, I mean, unless
I don't think people that do a project like I do, like taking the lead on this and doing it, because I did have winged warriors go, hey, is there any do we have to punt? Do we have to mint publicly? And I'm like, oh yeah, no. By the way, every wing gets to mint. So hey, I am not trying to put up a front of any kind. I'm doing what I've always said I would do, the best that I can, and that's it. If you are a winged warrior and you don't know about this, you're inactive. You can come and DM me, and we can have it out for all that matters. You need to engage. It's your community. You need to start building again. Part of the problem with where we're at is that a lot of winged warriors just haven't been around. Either they're doing too much stuff, they've made too much money, or they've lost too much money and they don't want to stop in anymore. So the truth is, Miz, is I don't believe that that's an issue. And if it is, the wings can bring it to me. We have discussed it all within the Winged Warriors. The Winged Alliance has always been aware. I have leaked it out a little bit at a time. I haven't given them everything at once either, because that's what they've tasked me to do. So when this is all said and done, we'll see where the chips lie. But I will say that I think that people will look back on it and see, they can go through all the spaces, all the podcasts, and they'll see that my intentions have been fairly pure. I'm not over here collecting 10% of the drop for myself.
So who can you release who is handling the mint?
Yeah, Mint City.
Okay.
And they'll be on Thursday at our spaces. We're talking a little bit about that and their project, and I think I might be on one of their spaces tomorrow. So yeah, Mint City, they provide quality solutions for complex projects.
Okay.
Yeah, they're awesome.
What so with this drop, are you looking for more interaction, I guess you would say. Not to throw shade against the Wing Warriors. I mean, to me, like I said before, it's like it was always something you kind of like strive for, like having a space bug. If you were gonna get a C-bit, you would want a winged warrior. Like that's the plateau. You know what I'm saying? And so, are you looking for that engagement, more hype around the project to where you can do possibly more things, or kind of what's your favorite thing, or what's going to be maybe your takeaway that you might most enjoy from a drop like this?
Well, first of all, I'll say that I don't think winged C-bits are the highest of the C-bits. I actually don't believe that. I think there are other C-bits that are rarer, that have qualities that are prettier, or whatever. It really is just what you prefer. I mean, if you look at CNFT tools, they're not ranked very high as far as it all goes. It's personal preference. And yes, there's been a light shown on those, and they have held value at some point, and I think they're still valuable. Obviously, I own them. But I would say that I don't think that winged warriors are the pinnacle of owning a C-bit, and I think that that's part of what the community is maybe pushing back a little bit on and saying themselves. And I agree. I agree with them. I think that the other project is that the C-bits are amazing, whether they have a wing or not. That being said, there are things the winged warriors want to do, and it's not about them making money for themselves. I can tell you that the winged warriors want to build the space. And they also want to retain, maintain, and protect the core of who we are. And that's impossible to do because 10,000 projects, so many rugs, so much bad acting and nefarious activity in our space. That's always going to happen. I traded on the floor of the stock exchange in the 90s. Do you know what it was like, bro? Like people took their lives. Like people went nuts. I mean, you would get kicked, physically hurt on the floor when we were screaming and yelling, buying and selling. Have you ever seen Trading Places in the Orange Futures pit where they're throwing paper everywhere and people were on the phones? That's literally what I did for a living. We sat in a pit of 100 people and screamed for 7.5 hours and stamped tickets and wrote and spit in each other's faces. And people would get kicked in those crowds. They would get kicked and hit, and it was nuts. So there's always, and then that was nothing compared to the money that got taken from people. There'd be a Harvard graduate would come down there with the money from his dad and start an account and get wrecked and leave and be broke and homeless for the rest of his life. I mean, that's maybe a little extreme. What I'm saying is there's a lot of negativity. We are working towards, and have always been working towards, providing a platform for people to be able to bring projects, get support, get connections, get resources. And so we are potentially working on something like that. I mean, I can't tell you guys, to be honest, because we have plans, but we don't know if we're going to see them through. And honestly, I don't know who's going to take them up. So those winged warriors that maybe didn't know about this or got caught off guard, or I encourage them to not only interact when something comes up that's in their financial favor, or something that looks like it could be cool that they might miss out on because they weren't around. I encourage them to use their talents, their resources, and what got them into this game and into that server initially, and help us out. Because I'm not running everything, people. I'm not. I'm definitely not running everything now. I have, a lot of people are kicking in. There's a crew of winged warriors that are regular and worked really hard on this. And shout out to everybody who's put in their time and their effort. But I'm not going to be controlling or running. I'm not going to be sitting here on every podcast going, "Hey, here's what we're doing." Might do my own podcast and talk about what I'm doing or what the space is doing, or just talk with people. But so yeah, that's a long answer to what are we planning on doing. I mean, I don't know. It would be cool if you could go somewhere and talk about a project that you have all the art ready to go, and you just don't know how to do your Discord or Twitter yet, and you need some input, and a group of people that have been doing it for a long time and know the space well and know how to protect you and keep you safe from nefarious activities. Maybe they could help you out. Maybe there is a DAO where when NFTs are sold, money goes into a multi-sig wallet where people can vote on what to do with it. And what they do with it is they give it away to charities or projects that are supporting charities or planting trees or, some of that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen from here. I do know that this is a great beginning and launching point. And if those winged warriors or anybody wants to pick up a wing, you want to get one at a good price. I mean, I'm not down to sell my wings at a loss, but if you're the right member of the community and you want in, That's it. That's the silence after that.
Big shout out to True OG, first of all. he's
Who's that?
True OG is
J-Hub.
J-Hub. Yeah, he's True OG. So he was
Nice.
the first person ever in my Discord. So I always shout him out when.
Oh, nice. I love it.
He's a super early supporter of mine as well. So thank you so much, man.
Right. And so, you know, I think something this reminds me of, and something that I'm kind of frustrated with that I haven't really aired out, and Cinnamon talked about it today, a cinnamon bun. He spoke of space buds, and he said, I really wish people inside the space bud community would do more stuff, you know, whether it be derivatives or whatever it may be. Like Monad Alexander, right, from Unsig, he like, people ran with the Unsigs and just started creating backgrounds for it. And then you had like different Unsig derivatives and other things like that. I don't think anybody's really created a whole lot of space bud derivatives. I mean, Bitvins did it with like 3D.
Shout out Tyler.
Yeah,
he's coming on.
That dude's badass. But so I think I'm kind of frustrated with that as well, because when I sit there and I look at like my space buds or whatever, I'm kind of like, well, what's coming down the pike? Barry has done tremendous things for the space. Like he's worked on multi-sig wallets. He did the first smart contract marketplace, you know, with spacebuds.io. And yeah, I was in the Bizarre Stars Spacebuds Mint. I was in that. That was more for Bizarre Stars than it was Spacebuds, I think.
Oh, I loved them.
Yeah,
I bought one of each. I had to have it, except for the dino. Dang it.
I got a lion.
I got one.
Yeah, I got a lion.
I got one. I got
Two
one of
animated
everything.
lion. Yeah. And so
I love that collection, by the way. I think it's way undervalued, but
yeah, that's something that I kind of like look at, like so as far as like utility and other things like that, I'm kind of wondering what would be space buds. If you had to choose a space bud like utility, what's something that you would do? Like, let's say, Nick, do you have any idea what you would do?
If I had space buds and I could do anything I wanted with it,
right, like, you know, because that's the thing. Like, so with Winged Warriors, you'd be able to do whatever you want to do with your Winged Warrior, right? Same thing with space buds, right? So what's one thing that you would do? I mean, we all kind of know like what I'm kind of doing or whatever, what I plan on doing anyway.
Yeah, which you want to keep hidden, right?
I do
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
Well, you know, I just kind of try to think of like, what is Bored Ape Yacht Club doing, right? And I know that's kind of like crappy. It's like, oh, well, you're going to copy somebody else. But it's like, I just want the project to be successful, and following success is a lot of what people do. So that's like where my head first goes, is like, how can I look at somebody else who's successful and try to mirror some of the things that they're doing? But at the same time, if you always do that, then you don't get anything new and anything special. So I would really have to think about this question a whole lot more, or else my answers are going to be generic, and I don't want to give a generic like, oh, you know, like I'll make a coin, you know, and then I'll have staking, and then I'll do my mutations, you know, like I don't want to talk about
that. Well, you're a rare find if you don't want to talk about all that. So I am not that bright when it comes right down to it. I am on some stuff, but definitely not on this. I don't really understand what everybody's doing. Like I have clay, I have clay land, but I don't know anything about like I'm over there or that's the party tent. I have an idea what I would do, and honestly, so yeah. So again, I just don't like talking about doing something unless I know for sure. But I will say that there are some possibilities with the Winged Warrior NFTs and the Winged Warrior family, the new 2777 and the existing cadets maggots. Shout out to my maggots, love you guys, we're awesome. I would do personally like a mansion. I mean, if I was a space bud, it might be like a space station or a moon mansion, or but I think really a place for people to go and to walk around and talk to each other. I mean, that's the very, very basics, right? If it was the Winged Warriors, it would be like a castle with a moat, but a moat that you could like hop in and like, like a lazy river and cruise down. And, there'd be a trampoline and just fun stuff to do, little games you could play. Maybe there would be a raffle you could enter by pushing something somewhere. But there are possibilities. We'll see where it goes. All I know from here is that this is the beginning of something, and it's going to be up to people to take it and go. It's not going to be something that I'm going to do. It's something that I might work on with a bunch of other people and do down. I can have some. I will maintain these NFTs. I will make sure that there's value in these giveaways in the channel where everybody who owns one of these NFTs gets into. I will continue to do what I do in the Warriors, which is throw in my hat and chop it up and talk about what I'm doing and where do I think a good buy price is on these cheap Bake Nation plots and where am I going to flip them at, because I do that sometimes because I'm a trader. And then I will, hang out with all. They won't be maggots after this is all done. We're gonna go ahead and it's kind of gross the maggots gifs, but I'll be, I'll do the Twitter Spaces once a week because it's fun and just talking with people in the community, and that's it. That's it. I will maintain and be a part of the community, and I'll make sure that these NFTs get some whitelists from all the projects that are coming down the pipe, and then I'll work with others if they want to get it going. We'll have something to work with, and it's gonna take a community to do it. But I would love a castle personally,
Yeah,
castle in the sky.
I think about all of these like metaverses, and it's going to take forever for them to all come out. And I kind of like the idea of, and I don't want to say Pavia because I don't know which one's actually going to build or who's going to do it the best or how long each one is going to take, but kind of take like one of them or a few of them and have all these projects kind of integrate into there so that it can kind of be like, a giant playground for everybody to chill together. But if we have all these podcasts or all these other metaverses, doing their own thing, it's going to get really diluted at some point.
Yeah. So, the ultimate plan is to connect everything. Like that's the ultimate plan is Pavia and Clay Nation and, Decentraland and whatever. They're all going to butt up against each other and they're going to have entry points, I would think. But I don't know. And it will be 5 years. Let me let my dog out of this room because he's nutso. Get out of the room. Nutso dog. Get out of here. Sorry. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen, but I don't know anything. What do I know? I know that if the Winged Warriors do have a special castle, it will attach to every metaverse out there. Every plane, every field will be attached to the Winged Warriors. I don't know. I mean, that's the play everybody's talking about, right? You can sell a project on it's going to have games or it's going to have land.
Yeah, and or tokens.
And then tokens. And then now we're talking about staking NFTs. And there's some stuff in the works that's coming that's going to be great. And there's a lot of stuff in the works that's coming that's not. It's going to fail. We just don't know who it is yet. It's like picking a gaming crypto. You can go with the top 5, but you won't get the returns. You go with the next 20 and you get some of the returns. You get that one shot way down, it's like picking that horse that's 45 to 1. But at the end of the day, the market's going to pick somebody or a handful of somebody's. And if you happen to have that at the price that they're at right now, you're going to be made. Just like if you had bought a million Dogecoin for $50, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And sold at 68 cents.
Speaking of horses, do you have equine?
Yes, I do. I have a good stable and jockeys and skins. I really like equine, but I'm kind of partial to horse races in general. When I was growing up in Northern California, the local fair had a horse race track, and I used to go there and think I was some kind of a big shot. But I clearly wasn't, and still am not. But I love horse racing, and I really believe in the people behind that project. So shout out to my man Baha.
Yeah, we were actually looking at horses last night after the podcast, and the horse that I wanted is gone now, and the next 124 is now at 340 instead of 315 or 320 that we were looking at. So I should have picked it up. But
yeah, well, you better buy now because
I know
I think those things are going to get hot soon. I hope so because I got a nice Nice
I
little bag,
minted
nice
2, and then I bought 3 more like a month ago, and now I want to buy another 3 more, and I just want to keep accumulating.
I minted 15 or 20, I can't remember, something like that. And I bought some secondaries along the way. I
Yeah,
had some good horses. I sold a few too. Sold some weak little jokers to get some money back to do something else. I don't know.
I
Who knows?
minted the 2 worst horses. I got a 104 and a 105.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you want. Hey, they could be something special. Those absolutely worst ones could be like flip it on them. Like, by the way, there's strength and weakness.
Well, we don't know the DNAs, that's true. But you know, also at the very least, at least like what, 18 months after the game starts, I can re-roll. So we'll see.
I
Yeah, we'll
hope.
see. You know, things are taking time, man, and that's what I think people don't get initially. You know, I think last summer the projects, you know, this all launched in March, and by August, everybody was making massive amount of money if they were in the game. And September came, and everything was promised, and the whole world was. But Charles never said it was going to all be done right after that. You know, after the Alonso hard fork. So I think that it's going to be a long haul, but it's ultimately it's going to take time. But I think it's building. I think it's being built right. I think Cardano is going to flip Bitcoin. That's my call. You heard it here first. I also think that Alonso Cardano trees are the greatest, and I love the Cardano trees project, even though it's not, you know, I don't think where it should be. But the 30 Alonso Cardano trees that were dropped in September on, you know, September 12th, hard fork. I bid the most out of anybody on one of those. I bid $9,000. And the reason why is I was sitting at Starbucks, and every time that I bid, somebody would bid and it would go another 30 minutes. And I was like, forget this. I was like, these are going to go for like 12 grand. You know, they're going to be the best ever. So I'll put a $1,000 bid and close my computer and come back to it later. And I did, and I won. And so I have Alonso Cardano tree 00, and I paid the most for it of any. And then I've been buying them ever since. So I believe that I now have 9 Alonso Cardano trees, and there's only 30 that exist. So if you're down to paper hand your tree to me for 4K, let me know. So I'll buy every single one. But yeah, I just thought I'd show my Alonso Cardano trees since I'm on here. It's a great project.
They're still
I'm not
building, aren't
telling.
they? They're adding in their like their background elements, like the moon and the fireworks and stuff like that. And yeah,
There's a lot more in the works for them. But yeah, it's a slow build. I don't think people understand that these days. You know, I think people that got in the winter and earlier this year, they didn't see a lot. And so those that have been for a long time saw a lot, and then, you know, it's not where it was before. But I think it's going to take time. The horse races are going to take time.
yeah.
Breeding's, I'm hoping to put a horse in a stable somewhere. I believe in it, though. I'll tell you that.
So I have Cardania Terraforms, which is like a. I also bought my first Boss Cat, right? So I'm officially, I guess, a part of Boss Cat Rocket Club. But so Cardania, which is a very slow burn of a project, but they're doing really cool stuff. So in their little terraforms, which is their land, you can harvest the resources, and so you get like cool things like rad token. You can do iron, bronze, all different sorts of stuff. I feel like that would be pretty cool. Like as far as like planting trees and stuff, I think that is really cool. These guys had a question like, how do you actually um, harvest? And all you have to do is go to the Discord or follow them on Twitter, and they pretty much have all the instructions there. But I harvested mine, and it's well past worth it. I think it's going to be like again, like we had them on the podcast, and they were doing something pretty cool. I think with their terraforms in game and other things like that. I think it's going to be pretty cool. But yeah.
I'm a fan of like card games in general, so I'm super excited for their card game.
Right. And I am trash at it, so feel free to abuse the crap out of me when that happens. But so I have to go. My wife is expecting me, so I gotta go. Wish me luck, and thank you for coming on. It was very nice, to see you. Obviously, I'm going to Mint because I always wanted a winged warrior, And so I just connected with CBITs in general. I know that Ghost has a CBIT, and we kind of always respect like the OG projects and stuff like that. And so hopefully
Yes,
this
you
one
should.
falls right in line. And yeah, I've been holding mine ever since. So it was great to actually talk to you. I look forward to seeing like kind of what you're doing, being new in the space. Don't feel scared. Don't feel nervous. Get your confidence. Stand your ground. Take it to the moon, baby. That's all I
Come
can say.
on.
Yeah,
I'm
take it to the
pumped
moon,
now.
baby.
Now I'm pumped.
But yeah,
No, it's good, man. You are a smart man.
yeah.
I think you're doing what you need to do. Go take care of that wife, love up on her, and yeah, man, nice to meet you. I'm sure we'll talk again.
Oh
This was
yeah, for
fun.
sure.
Appreciate
I'll
you
be
coming by, Cleanup.
I'll be in your Discord. But yeah, so
Oh, nice.
I'll
Throw
see
me
you
a
guys on
GIF.
the other side. Okay.
Have a good night, homie.
All right.
I'll see you.
See you, bud.
So yeah, man, that's Cleanup. Is that your first time talking with Cleanup?
Yeah, I don't know him.
Gotcha.
Never
So
met the guy.
sometimes I don't think I always reintroduce him, but he's from Lucky Lizard Club. If you don't know, they launched September, October, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I've heard of these so-called lucky lizards. I have a lucky lizard. His name is Gobi. He's just in the other room. He's lucky because he lives with us. So, but no, that's cool. He's very chill. I like his countenance. It's
Yeah.
not mine.
He always
So
comes straight from
therefore-
work all dapper, you know.
Does he? Nice. I'll wear a tie next time I come on.
Yeah, it's all good. We don't need to be too professional.
Okay, let's keep it smooth. So, do we have more questions we want to answer, or?
Is there anything I'm leaving out? I'm trying to think, because you covered your DAO, which I don't think you really talked about before, and you covered your first wing with a zombie, which we've never seen before. Is there any other special things hidden or to come, maybe?
No, I think that was the final piece. I saved it for your show. I'll be moving forward with giveaways, whitelist spot giveaways, mint giveaways. You'll get a random NFT from our mint. We'll be working with Mint City to get this thing done. And now we're super excited. The Warriors, we're grateful for the opportunity to provide something like this to the community. We're grateful for everybody. I mean, if anything, the pushback out there, the challenges, the people that are asking the hard questions, that many of which I honestly can't answer very well, they're needed. Like that's what actually it takes in order to move a space forward. In any company I've ever been in, any business venture or even personal relationship, there's always going to be times when things need to come up and they need to be flushed out. And I will tell you, from Cleanup's exit to go be with his wife, in marriage is very much like that. I've had to take a lot of responsibility for that I need to change and grow and don't see some things straight. So I appreciate everybody out there who's questioning or concerned, or don't appreciate them dropping DMs in my private channels because I didn't lock them up properly. But I'm gonna go clean that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at the end of the day, I just think you got to take somebody for who they are and a group for what they do, and their record will show. I can't think of many things bad that have come out of the Winged Warriors. I'm trying to think about it.
I was thinking about the way Zombie Chains actually did their drop. They were the first people to kind of be like, we're not going to do rarities. We're not going to give a giant roadmap. We're not going to do all this. And that did really well too. And so you kind of being like, we're not going to do a white paper. We're not going to even make promises, but this is what we're debating and I'm going to give it a shot. I could see this working out because you're just being super transparent in that sense. And people respect the hell out of that. Or maybe not everyone, but I do personally, Yeah,
so, I mean, everybody's got to button it up for the space the way that it's packaged these days. And I think that's fine. I think people should do that. Any good business will show you their business plan. This is not like that. We're not, I don't think, creating something that's, going to be ongoing. We're not going to do another drop of Winged Warriors after this. And that's another maybe attraction to this particular drop, is there won't be another derivative of this particular You won't see a winged warrior on another NFT that goes out. If the DAO thing happens, or we work on it, or we do it, it won't be a winged warrior stamped NFT. Actually, if it does happen, it will blow people's minds, and it will be something that's never been done before, if it does happen. But I'm not, telling about that is basically just saying that we had an idea and we worked towards it, and it didn't quite come to fruition. The winged warriors are not going to put anything out there that's not great. Like, we're just not going to do it, and even if it causes problems internally until we can figure it all out. But end of the day, I think this is a great iconic homage to how this space began. And I think 5 years down the road, people are going to look back at both CBITs and Winged Warriors and the art that's been done by this phenomenal artist, and it's going to be heralded. It's going to be looked upon with great and with great, I don't know what the word is. You know what I mean? It's going to be good.
Wow. That sort of thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, they're stinking beautiful, man. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've been in the process of this, and I've seen them all along the way, and I've been leaking them out and showing them to people. I literally, the more that I look at these, I fall more and more in love with them. Like, literally, I'm like, I want every one. I mean, look at that guy. I mean, a bloody open brain, exposed brain,
dripping down the side.
Just beautiful. I really, really love them, and I love the CBITs too. So it is what it is. We are excited, and it's 2,777 NFTs.
Yeah,
like, we're gonna sell out.
Mint price too. 49.8 is not much.
But we polled the community. We also polled the community on what to name them. Like, that's part of it, is we want the community involved in their own project, right? So we asked, we gave them 6 different options for names, and we gave them 3 different options for prices, and people said they'd like to see it kept under 50, and so we did. We put it at 49. I think it's minting 1 or 2 of these is going to be, I think, a good thing to just put in your wallet and hang on to.
$49.99 deal.
$49.99. Yeah, squeeze every last penny out of that 50, under 50. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with what we've done.
Yeah,
and I'm grateful for
the only oh, sorry, go on.
No, you're good. There you go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the only really difficult questions I could think of, because there isn't anything yet, so the questions that you would have aren't even going to be able to be answered yet. But just straight away in my head for every DAO is, how do you continuously add money? You take this money from the mint, you put it into a DAO, and then you hope it goes up. But where does residual income come in, or is that it?
So, to be clear, we do not have a DAO, and so the profits from this mint will not go into a DAO. They will go somewhere where Winged Warriors, aka Winged CBIT owners that are in the Winged Warriors server, will have governance over, but it will not be DAO governance. It won't be multi-sig governance yet. So that's one. There'll be royalties. So there'll be royalties on these when they sell on the secondary. That's one way that you create money. I know the CBITs community, the mods over there, they get 50% of all the royalties to go into their community treasury to use as they see fit. So shout out to their creator, who gave them half of the royalties because of the hard work that they did in bringing that community back to life and putting it back where it belonged on the stage. So that's one way. Outside of that, I mean, yeah, there's some options. There's some things you can do potentially to charge some money for, and put that into the treasury, and then you can also. So I can't answer that question, because if the Winged Warriors do what there is that can be done that's never been done before, it will add money to a treasury to a DAO in a way that it's, I don't think, been done before on Cardano, and that's the key on Cardano. So
and Corleone does bring up a point. He says that's not how a DAO works, and I get it. It's decentralized autonomous organization. It doesn't necessarily have to bring in more money. It's just saying, what do you want to do with the money that there is? But I guess how I view it, ever since Rat's DAO came out, and they've been trying to do that whole buy, flip, give, money to their holders thing, that's always the first thing that pops into my head when I think of a DAO now. And, maybe I do need to get that out of my head, that it doesn't need to make money. It just needs, but at the same time, if you want to do stuff, you do need money. So it does make sense.
It's a subjective word. Does DAO have an acronym and stand for something? Yes. Can that be completely communicated very strictly in a form? Kind of. But that's not how it's being used. It's like any language. It's like, bro can be used for your brother. It could also be used for somebody that you think is cool, or just saying something out loud. So DAO has been interpreted many different ways now. So when you say DAO, yeah, there are the people that are purists out there. They're like, no, this is what it's supposed to be, true. But if you're going to call yourself a DAO and centralize power in a wallet somewhere, and determine on how to buy things through a voting mechanism that doesn't have to do with signing, putting your signature inside of a system or on a blockchain, then it's not. It's a centralized organization that's buying stuff and selling it and distributing the profits, and that is where you have to be careful, because to be honest, there are other implications for doing business certain ways in the space, and it's not clear, and it may not be for quite some time. But I understand where that person's coming from. Who was it? What was their name?
Oh, Corleone.
Corleone? Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and I don't disagree with you. But I don't think we have any real, legit, powerful DAOs yet.
Yeah. And that was, that's what he just said, runs it in a decentralized manner, which you're right, we don't really have that yet. So,
but they're working towards it. I mean, even the rats, and I have my opinions, which I'll keep to myself. Even the rats are, they've put people on staff, and they're working really hard towards a multi-sig. And so, you know what? Good on them. Everybody out there is grinding on something. As long as you're not rugging, as long as you're not just trying to steal money from people and just dropping your address and DMs on a project, I mean, I'm cool. We can all try this and see what happens. That's business, to be honest. It's just the space is crazy right now with regulation. As far as it is super unclear, and America sucks. They're just brutal.
Yeah.
In their ineptitude, in their their lack of knowledge of what is even really going on. Because some countries are ahead of the game and they have governance, and it's cool because they know what they're doing. You can give us a number, we could figure it out. But to just speak harshly about it and not even really know what you're talking about, and they need more 20 somethings in Congress making laws on this stuff, because these 80 somethings do not know what they're talking about. So,
well, I think some of them are honestly maybe scared or angry or putting some sort of emotions into it, right? It's like, that's not what I want my kids to do. And it's like, it's not your life anymore, man. You're 80. You're
changing of the guard.
Like, I'm sorry.
The changing of the guard. I know. I'm 48, man. And I'm like, man, my guard is changing soon. My 3-year-old is the smartest person in the world. Like, she's full on sentences, paragraphs, dissertations. Like, she's ridiculous. I'm like, I was not that smart at 3, bro. I could barely talk, but I learned how to talk. Anything else out there, or you want to?
Yeah, I guess we could. The last thing I just want to say about the government is, it does worry me that, our government is taking this stance on it, because all the money will be continued to be pushed overseas into other countries, because we don't have our shit together, So,
for sure. I mean, what is it? The Nomad Capitalist. If you've ever watched him, he's pretty amazing. He talks about taking advantage of different systems around the world, whether it's real estate investment or putting your money somewhere, becoming citizen outside of the United States, dual citizenship and stuff like that. It's important. I mean, at a certain level, you have to start looking at things, solutions. How do you protect your family's, your family's estate, your family's investments the best that you can? So I've actually looked at some of that stuff, and there's other stuff. There's more to talk about with you that doesn't have to do with the Winged Warriors or me, coming soon. So we will see if we can get another one of these fired up. But I don't like to talk politics, I'll tell you that. And I do think that the USA is missing out huge on an opportunity to provide a place for people to come and set up their digital assets businesses, and it's unfortunate, but
yeah. And it, I feel like we get teased every few months too. It's like, we're actually debating this. And then, the can gets kicked another 6-7 months. And then we get another bit of news. Like, we're actually thinking about this. And it's like, it's just, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Right. We have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I think if you've been in this business for a while, and I'm talking about digital assets, I'll just say digital assets because it could be NFTs, it could be cryptocurrency. So if you've been in this space, you know that there are cycles, and that whenever really cryptocurrency starts gaining a lot of ground and widespread adoption, that's when regulation kicks in really hard. And so USA is in a spot. They've written the checks that they couldn't cash. They've printed 50% of all the money in supply in the last few years, and that's never been good in the history of economies. And so there is fear, and they're clamoring for, where are we going to make up the loss that we're facing as a country, as a government. And cryptocurrency is a place where there's ton of money, volatility. It's just crazy. So they're clamoring to try and figure that out, but they don't know what they're doing. And so what ends up happening is they create a culture of fear. And so you see things go down, and it's going to come back. $75,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year, and 500,000 Bitcoin in 5 years. And Cardano is going to be worth, more than that eventually. But yeah, I think that it's a cycle, it's a pattern, and anybody who's been around knows it. But people that are just getting in, or only been in for a short time, or went through the ride to 68, they don't understand. We went to 20 grand, and then down to 4,500. And so I was doing the math. We need to go down to 13,000 right now. Bitcoin.
Oh wow.
We need to go down. That's where we need to go. That's an 80% drop. That's an 80% drop. No, we won't. And that's a good indication.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that too, and I was like, that was the first time when it went to 20,000 that the whole world was kind of like looking at this thing and actually being shown this thing on the news for the first time. And then seeing it crash is because people didn't really do research. They saw headlines and aped in, and then, as it started to crash, more FOMO because nobody really knew what it was. And now I think, sure, we're falling down, but more and more people are actually aware of what it actually is, or what the potential of it could actually be. And so I don't think it's going to have the same 80% correction. I think it'll be more like maybe 60.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to correct even that much, to be honest, but that's just, everybody has their opinion. I've seen it for a while.
Not financial
traded options. I know. Yeah, exactly. I know how to read charts, graphs and candles, sticks and points, and but heads and shoulders, which is also good for your hair if you happen to have dandruff, I hear. But at the end of the day, it's hard to say. I think you make a good point though, that people know about it now. Because if you go back to when it was worth pennies and dollars, and then to hundreds and thousands, like the same kind of moves happened as are now. There were 80% corrections in those days if you go all the way back. But I don't think we're going to see 80% corrections either. No. There's limited supply too now. There's a lot less than there were.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. That's pretty much everything, that we had covered. Well, and, I know definitely talk about a bunch of other stuff that maybe.
I know, right? Yeah, my daughter and my kids are in the hot tub, and I'm going to go down and see if I can jump in with them for a minute. But
heck yeah.
I super appreciate you, and to the cadets, to the Winged Warriors. Our mint is next week. Hang in there, get active. We're going to give away some more whitelist spots. We're going to be on Spaces and hanging out, and really, this has been awesome. Yeah, we're going to have some fun, people. Appreciate you having us on, and grateful for the opportunity to be in this community in general.
Yes, sir. And all you guys, we have Winged Warriors socials in the description below. Go check them out, and give me a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Remember to get outside, see your family, see your friends. We're here to make more money so we can spend more time with them. Till next time, guys. Peace.